New blow. Meg roars as USPTO requests her to delete Archetypes after failing in trademark right. The Duke and Duchess of Sussex have had a trademark application for their podcast name rejected, records show. The couple had their application for exclusive rights to Archetypes, the name chosen by Meghan for their podcast, refused by the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office because of the likelihood of confusion with an existing brand. They sought exclusive use of the name in categories like downloadable audio recordings and podcasts for anything concerning the cultural treatment of women and stereotypes facing women. But it was refused due to an existing trademark by Arizonian firm Archetypes LLC, which sought exclusive use of in 2015 for a series of books and articles about nutrition, fitness, sexuality, psychological self improvement, and more. The couple's lawyer, Marjorie Witter Norman, of LA firm Wilkie Farr and Gallagher, has applied for another 3 months in which to finesse the Archetypes application. They also both failed to sign their own applications to the regulatory body. Meghan made the same mistake last year when she applied to reactivate the TIG trademark, the name she favored for the lifestyle blog she wrote before marrying Harry. It comes after it was announced the Spotify podcast Archetypes would not be renewed for a second season as the audio company begins to make changes and revamp its output. The streaming giant and the Sussex's audio production company Archwell Audio released a joint statement this month saying they have mutually agreed to part ways and are proud of the series they made together. Meghan and Harry reportedly signed a £50 million deal with Spotify for the project in late 2020, but insiders close to the audio giant claim the royal couple did not meet the productivity benchmark which required to receive the full payout, the Wall Street Journal reported. The move to ditch the Duchess of Sussex's show, which explores the labels that try to hold women back, follows discussions months ago about renewing it for a second series. The axing of the show came after sources close to the Duke and Duchess of Sussex claimed the pair would stop making tell-all Netflix documentaries, publishing memoirs, and sitting down for interviews that bash the royal family, as they have nothing left to say. Spotify was set to have carried out conversations for a second series of Archetypes last year, following the end of the first season, but talks later stalled. The talent agency that recently signed Meghan, WME, told Wall Street Journal the team behind Archetypes remained proud of the podcast they created at Spotify. The podcast reached the top of Spotify's charts in the week that it premiered, and only in the week that it premiered. The couple had initially signed a 3-year deal to produce content for Spotify, with Meghan hosting the first series called Archetypes. But after they parted ways with the streaming giant, Bill Simmons, who was head of podcast innovation and monetization, was quick to hit out at Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. The grifters, he called them. That's the podcast we should have launched with them, he said in his latest episode of his own podcast. I've got to get drunk one night and tell the story of the Zoom I had with Harry to try and help him with the podcast idea. It's one of my best stories. Meghan's Spotify podcast was axed earlier in the week after it failed to meet targets. Her Archetypes series, which focused on the labels that try to hold women back, will not get a second season. A joint statement from Spotify and Archwell Audio, which is Meghan and Prince Harry's production firm, said the two were proud of the series they made together, but they had mutually agreed to part ways. The Sussexes had reportedly signed a $20 million deal with the streaming giant, and the show even featured Mariah Carey and Serena Williams.